Scarlett Johansson is now at war with Disney. Now, for those who don't know, I would recommend reading Variety, Deadline, the people who have actually fully read the article. I recommend you guys do your own reading. But I'm just gonna briefly mention it. What happened is, Disney obviously put Black Widow both theatrically and on Disney Plus Premier Access for $30. A lot of people aren't happy with that, but that happened. And I've said this before. I believe Premier Access and putting your theatrical movies on streaming servers, including HBO Max, that fundamentally ruins the box office for these movies in the long run, in the theatrical, whole box office release. And I believe that's what's happening with Black Widow. It had a massive second weekend drop off. And I know a lot of these anti-SJW YouTube channels will constantly tell you that's because of feminist propaganda. But obviously, anyone with the right mind and an unbiased mind will tell you that it was because of Premier Access. Because Premier Access is, in fact, destroying the movies. That's what's happening. And obviously, that happened with Black Widow. Premier Access was just the fall for Black Widow. This movie had a massive drop off, the biggest drop off of any MCU movie. I guess you could consider it the first ever MCU flop, or financially. But let's be fair, the pandemic happened and Premier Access happened, and we're living in this weird world where putting a movie onto streaming services isn't very weird anymore. And so Scarlett Johansson has decided to sue. Now, before I get into the rest of this video, make sure you smash the like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bells. My name is Isaac, and welcome to the multiverse of movies. Comment down below after the video and let me know your thoughts on the situation. And also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Isaac the Film Geek, which is always here at the bottom left corner right here. So yeah. Let me get into the rest. I'm just going to put my opinion on it. I recommend you guys to read the entire article. But anyways, Disney actually fired back saying how ScarJo has a complete disregard of COVID-19. And in fact, they even released her salary in that she made $20 million off Black Widow and has the potential to make more on Disney Plus Premier Access, which is completely untrue. And for those who don't know, when you're a major actor in Hollywood who's in constant blockbusters like Ryan Reynolds or Dwayne Johnson, those top-notch actors, on your contract, most of the time, you'll sign an agreement that says you get a certain cut of the box office. However, now in this new streaming age, what these companies have done is, yes, that percentage still exists for the box office, but you cut that box office in half because you put it on Premier Access or you put it on your streaming service. That's why a lot of people hated the HBO Max thing, because now they're going to be making less money than if it was in theaters. And a lot of people are like, but ScarJo already made $20 million. Why would she want more? Well, you sign up for what you agree on. And I cannot blame ScarJo for being mad. Yes, she made $20 million, but let's not forget that she signed on for more because that's what the contract said. Disney is clearly not agreeing to that contract. And the thing is, Warner Bros. Did something similar but way worse. They just completely released all their movies on streaming free, no charge, and they didn't even notify the companies like Legendary who are putting the finances for these movies to be possible to make. Except for Wonder Woman 84. For Wonder Woman 84, what they said is, hey, we're going to assume this movie makes $1 billion in the box office, so we're going to give you this money that you would have made if it made $1 billion. That way we can put it on streaming. They did that with Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, and everyone else, I guess. But Disney clearly isn't doing that, because clearly the idiots at Disney don't seem to be aware that they are taking away the money off the actors. In fact, Emma Stone and Emily Blunt are both considering putting lawsuits. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, but ScarJo made $20 million, this, and that. But again, you have to remind yourself, if you put something in a contract, then you're expected to do what the contract says, because that's the whole point of signing a contract. A contract is not there just to do whatever you want. A contract is there because both parties agree to a certain thing, and if that certain thing isn't agreed upon, then what's even the point of the contract? ScarJo agreed to have an exclusively theatrical film and have a cut of that box office. Disney's already breaching that contract by taking away that exclusive theatrical release and putting it on Premier Access on Disney Plus, therefore having ScarJo make less money. And I can't blame ScarJo. She's gonna win this lawsuit. It's undebatable that whether or not she's gonna win, because it seems clearly she's gonna win. And I'm glad she went directly for Disney rather than Marvel. I see a lot of Marvel fans attacking ScarJo, saying that she's betraying Marvel, this, that. And it's like, no, she's not. She's attacking Disney, and I think it's good that Disney gets attacked, because Bob Chapek, I'm sorry, but he's not a great leader. He's not a Bob Iger. Bob Iger knew what he was doing. He knew he knew how to settle issues like this, and he knew what he had to do to fix the relationships within the company. Obviously, Chapek does not know a thing or two about this, and I'm sorry, but it seems like he's throwing Disney under the bus. It seems like he doesn't know what he's doing, and I really wish Iger is coming back, because Iger knew what to do. He knew what to do in tough situations. He knew what to do. Chapek, on the other hand, he's putting these movies on Disney Plus without even telling his talent until the day comes out. They put Luca on Disney Plus for free. They put Mulan. They put Cruella without letting the actors and everyone else know if these movies were going to be coming to streaming. And that's frustrating to me. I've said this before. Warner Bros., the idiots at Warner Bros., decided to put all their films on streaming just like that without letting anyone know. That's why the people at Dune are mad. That's why the people who made Godzilla vs. Kong are mad, because they weren't told until the day. I believe a lot of them weren't told until at least 30 minutes before. And it's like, you're messing with people's livelihoods, because these people, they get into this business to make money. And if they're not getting paid the way they were expected to based on contract, then that's horrible. That's terrible. The reason why they didn't do that Wonder Woman 84 is because they already agreed with Patty, they agreed with Gal that, hey, we're going to give you money so that we can put this on HBO Max. But clearly they're not doing that with all their other projects. And that's annoying. That's frustrating me in many ways. And I hope ScarJo wins, because genuinely I think Disney needs a wake-up call. I can't believe there are people defending Disney. You're telling me the billion-dollar company needs defending? No. And everyone's saying ScarJo's greedy. Well, obviously she's going to be greedy, because the contract said she was going to make a certain amount of money based on an exclusive theatrical release. And obviously that's being breached right now. But obviously you're going to have these anti-SJW channels like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers telling you that it's liberals fighting against each other, so it doesn't matter. When really it's not political at all. It's literally somewhat a contract being breached and actors being mad over it. And it disappoints me that we're seeing idiots like this constantly turning the narrative in a different way. But hey, my thoughts are just my thoughts is Disney did not handle the situation well. I think Chapek is not a good leader as of now. It seems like he's running things to the ground. If you've been keeping up with what's happening in Disney, in 5 years, I don't see Disney being the powerhouse that they are now. I still see them as a powerhouse, just not as big as they were with Iger. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because I always hope for the best. You know, when Disney's successful, everyone's happy, because they produce great films, and they produce some classics. I mean, they own Star Wars and Marvel. That's enough to be said. I hope by 2022 we don't have streaming movies anymore. And look, I know it's a good option. I mean, I didn't even watch Space Jam 2 in theaters. I watched it at home on HBO Max because I didn't feel like going to the theaters for the movie, even though I have a Tomb Squad shirt right here. But as much as I understand why they did the decision they did, it is destroying the theatrical industry, because theaters are in such a low position right now. And I feel like Disney and Warner Bros., not only are they cutting their box office, they're also destroying the theatrical industry in a way. Now things have improved, because Godzilla vs. Kong, Fast 9, Black Widow, they've all made pretty good amount of money. Jungle Cruise did pretty decent, I guess. And then you got movies like Suicide Squad coming out. You got movies like Eternal, Shang-Chi, No Way Home, Dune, Mission Impossible. You got all these movies coming out, so there is a giant possibility that I'm I'm oversimplifying this, but at the end of the day, you got to keep going on and keep going on. And with these streaming services, that's not a very good position. I really hope by 2022 we're not going with this anymore, because I know Warner Bros. Has said that this whole streaming model, it's gonna end. It's gonna be a 2021 exclusive thing only. And I know Black Widow, as of now, is the last Disney Plus Premier Access movie. I hope things go back to theatrical films sooner rather than later, because obviously the better that the theaters are doing, the better for everyone, because that means more movies, that means more success, meaning that we get more projects and more originals, more sequels, more movies that we want. Because really, right now Hollywood is struggling in terms of the theatrical business, and again, a world without movies is not a world I want to exist in. And to the people out there who want to help, I do recommend not watching movies and streaming. I understand if you do, because obviously they're putting out that option. But if you want to help the theatrical industry, then I always recommend you go to the theaters and enjoy a movie. I know I'm a little bit hypocritical because I watched Space Jam: A New Legacy at home on HBO Max, but most movies I've been able to just go to the theaters and watch it there. That's just my recommendation to people, and I hope people hear me out, because at the end of the day, that's the only way we can help the theaters. If we prove to these companies that streaming is not the way to go, then I guarantee you they're gonna listen. They're gonna look at us and be like, hey, you know what? Theatrical is more important. The theatrical business is more important than putting a movie on streaming. Because as of now, streaming has proven to be not as good as they would hope, because Premier Access has completely brought a downfall to Cruella, Mulan, Black Widow, and these are big projects. Same thing with Warner Bros. Godzilla vs. Kong would have made a lot more if it was not on HBO Max. Same thing with most movies. Space Jam 2, I would say the same thing. Dune, I feel like it's going to be a similar thing, where I feel like Dune is going to struggle mainly because of the HBO Max thing. The Suicide Squad is coming out this week. I would assume Suicide Squad is going to do well in the box office, but because HBO Max is there, I think it's going to struggle a little bit because of the whole HBO Max situation. But I hope I'm wrong. And I hope ScarJo wins the lawsuit, because if she wins, then we all win. We all win, and I feel like this would be a lesson to Disney that streaming is not the way to go. And if you do streaming, at least notify your actors, directors, and everyone, and sign a new contract before you announce anything. To me, it's just a simple, smart decision to do. I am glad that we did eventually get to see Black Widow. I didn't love Black Widow. I thought Black Widow was alright, but I am so glad they released it, because, to be fair, we've waited for too long. That was way too long, and I feel like if it got pushed forward, the anticipation for Black Widow would have just been gone and over with. No one would have cared, to be fair. At least we got to see it. But it does annoy me that Disney brought up COVID-19 as a way to defend themselves, when in reality it looked like they were just shooting themselves in the leg. Because, to be fair, mentioning COVID in a time like this, a pandemic that has killed millions upon millions of people in this world and in this country, and you use it as an excuse to not pay someone the money they deserve, like, that's pathetic. That's embarrassing. And really, I hope people stop being oblivious and realize how selfish Disney is being by mentioning COVID-19 in a time like this. The fact that they mention COVID-19 is just embarrassing, absolutely detrimental to their company. And again, I can't blame ScarJo for being mad. Yes, she made $20 million, but her contract said otherwise, that you promised her an exclusive theatrical release. I also saw some people asking, why didn't ScarJo do this while the movie was coming out? Well, obviously, she wanted to wait and see and find out what happens. Because for all she knew, maybe a week before the movie got released, they would have just said, oh, no, we're not going to do Premier Access anymore. We're just going to do straight to theaters. Not only that, but if she was to come out with this lawsuit in the first week that the movie comes out, it would have looked embarrassing for the movie at the time, and it would have probably cut her paycheck a lot more than if she did right now. Because then people would have been like, "Oh, ScarJo's not even supporting her own movie, so why should I?" Some people see it that way. I'm glad she didn't do it at the time. I'm glad she waited until after, because to me that's more respectful. But it is annoying what Disney did. I mean, not even Universal did this with Fast 9. Not even Universal did this with Fast 9. But Disney is willing to go that way. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on it? Also, let me know if you like the Joker poster I have here in the back. You know, Jared Leto, Snyder cut. You know, I love it. I love it. It's a great addition to this whole background I've been building. But yeah, it's my first video in a while, and I hope to see you guys next time. Smash the like button again. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on notification bells. If you enjoyed this video, again, share this video with your other fellow film fans. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Isaac, the Film Geek. And again, make sure you comment down below after the video and let me know your thoughts on this situation. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.